From the most incredible sounds
You see things still the same.
to the funniest grooves, here are 14 forgotten one-hit wonders from 1972 you need to hear to believe. Starting with the song that never seems to lose relevance, number 14, Brandy, You're a Fine Girl.
Summer's day bringing gifts.
When Looking Glass released Brandy in 1972, nobody could have guessed it would become such a timeless soft rock classic. The song tells a story of a barmaid named Brandy whose heart belongs to a sailor that can never settle down. With its catchy chorus and storytelling style, it hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and turned into a staple of the decade. Sadly for Looking Glass, they could never replicate that same success, and Brandy became their defining legacy. Decades later, it's still beloved, showing up in movies like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and beyond. While Looking Glass gave it its own unique sound, the Delegates took things in a completely different direction with number 13, Convention 72. Convention 72 was one of the quirkiest one-hit wonders of its time. Released at the height of the presidential election year, this comedic novelty track parodied a political debate by splicing together impersonations of famous politicians. It was a hilarious satire that stood out on radio stations, otherwise dominated by love songs and rock anthems at the time. The Delegates struck gold with the concept as the track climbed into the Billboard Top 10 in late 1972. But once the election season ended, so did their time in the spotlight. Convention 72 remains a quirky reminder of how humor can make history. But our next track showed just how unpredictable the music scene of the 70s really was, coming in at number 12, I'm Easy.
This I know.
Originally written for the Robert Altman film Nashville, the gentle ballad I'm Easy became an unexpected hit after the movie's release. The tender love song struck a chord with audiences, climbing into the top 10 and even winning an Academy Award for Best Original Song. Despite follow-up albums attempting to build on its momentum, nothing matched the impact of I'm Easy, which remains best remembered as a defining musical moment of the mid-1970s. While I'm Easy left its mark as a tender ballad of the 70s, the decade's charts weren't only filled with soft reflections of love. They were also about some carefree fun, like with Mungo Jerry's big hit, at number 11, In the Summertime.
She's nice, bring your friends and we'll go into town.
With its catchy skiffle beat and almost improvised feel, In the Summertime was the kind of song that made you want to roll down the car windows and let the warm breeze in. Written by the band's frontman, Ray Dorset, the song was inspired by the simple pleasure of sunny days and a life without worries. The song sold over 30 million copies, making it one of the best-selling singles ever, after which it hit the top 40 at number 32 and quickly climbed the charts, making the top 3. This same anthem of the summer still holds up today and brings back those lazy summer day vibes. While the band never matched the global success of In the Summertime, they kept making music and remained popular across Europe. Over the years, the band went through numerous lineup changes, but Ray remained the driving force and continues to perform occasionally to this day. Even though In the Summer captured people's hearts, our next hit from Hot Butter proves that even synths could steal the spotlight. In 1972, Hot Butter made history with Popcorn, one of the very first fully electronic hits to break into mainstream. Built entirely around a playful Moog synthesizer riff, the song was light, bouncy, and instantly addictive. It became a global phenomenon, topping charts in several countries and selling millions of copies. At a time when rock and disco were dominating, Popcorn showed just how fun and futuristic electronic music could sound to an unsuspecting audience. Although Popcorn paved the way for synth-driven music, our next song created an experimental piece so haunting that it became forever linked to one of the scariest films ever made. At number 9, it's Tubular Bells. Mike Oldfield's Moonlight Shadow was one of his most digestible tunes, hitting number 1 across several European countries. Although his debut single Tubular Bells was a hit in the United States and was known for its use in the film The Exorcist, it didn't quite have the level of international success as Moonlight Shadow. However, the full-length experimental piece featured several different sections with various instruments, from pianos all the way to electric guitars. The song transcended both genre and mood, creating a genuinely unique experience that took its listeners on an audio journey. Not only that, the album containing this piece was a big hit in the UK, but the full song unfortunately still remains largely unknown to the public. From spine-chilling melodies to something a little more light-hearted, our next song showed us that even roadkill could inspire a top 40 hit. At number 8, it's Dead Skunk. Like many of the decade's best-selling novelty songs, Dead Skunk in the Middle of the Road was destined to be Wainwright's only top 40 hit. Inspired by a real-life roadkill encounter, this quirky song became a crowd favorite and a slow-burning chart climber after its release, eventually reaching number 16 on the Billboard Top 40. Dead Skunk, like many of Wainwright's songs, showcased his strong storytelling ability. Although Dead Skunk was his only top 40 hit, Wainwright has had a long career as an acclaimed singer-songwriter with over 20 albums and 3 Grammy nominations. Dead Skunk may have been silly, quirky fun, but our next song was pure raw energy. Coming in at number 7, Most People I Know Think That I'm Crazy. While Billy Thorpe may be a one-hit wonder in the United States, in Australia he's a rock legend. In the 1970s, he found success with Children of the Sun. The epic number was well received in the United States, making it to number 41 on the Billboard Hot 100, and that's pretty much all Americans knew about the guy. But his band, Billy Thorpe and the Aztecs, dominated Down Under, with Most People I Know Think That I'm Crazy becoming successful domestically. Although it wasn't able to find an international audience, his eventual solo work took center stage. While it may not have broken records, it's still a timeless classic. Although Billy Thorpe may have stayed a legend, our next song delivered one of the most iconic riffs in classic rock history. Coming in at number 6, it's All Right Now. After a disastrous performance, Freeze, Andy Fraser, and Paul Rodgers wrote All Right Now to liven up a set list they felt was too low energy. The song got their audience up on their feet. All Right Now delivered the energy the band needed with a raw bluesy guitar riff from lead guitarist Paul Kossoff and rollicking vocals by Paul Rodgers. After the release of the song, it quickly climbed the Billboard Top 100, finally peaking at number 4. Unfortunately, tensions within the band reached a boiling point, and they broke up, never making another big hit. While Freeze time in the spotlight was short, All Right Now remains a staple of classic rock radio and one of the most enduring rock anthems. This track cemented Free's place in rock history, but when it comes to timeless ballads, very few one-hit wonders hit harder than number 5, Love Hurts. Scottish rock band Nazareth released its first album in 1971, but it wasn't until years later when its cover of the Everly Brothers' Love Hurts hit airwaves that the group found success. The track went platinum in both the United Kingdom and the United States, but by the mid-80s the quartet had slipped from the top of the charts to relative obscurity. And still it persisted, touring and recording with various lineups. In the present day, though only one original member, bassist Pete Agnew, remains, the group still does do occasional work. While Love Hurt was a great song, our next song proved that music could do more than break hearts. At number 4, it's Rapper's Delight.
Rocking you down 'cause you know.
The first mainstream hip-hop hit, Rapper's Delight, paved the way for the genre to exist. The original cut, which hit black radio stations, was 15 minutes long and had been recorded in a single take. Eventually, a shorter 7-minute version was distributed to pop stations. Subsequently, the Sugar Hill Gang, a trio of New Jersey rappers, put together by Sugar Hill Records founder Sylvia Robinson, followed up its success with several more popular tracks in the United Kingdom, though none made the charts in the United States before the group was disbanded in the mid-1980s. Rapper's Delight laid the foundation for hip-hop, but our next song carried a much deeper message, one born out of war, hope, and the dream of peace. At number 3, it's Why Can't We Live Together? Records showed that Timmy Thomas wrote his 1972 anti-war anthem, Why Can't We Live Together, after watching Walter Cronkite rattle off a Vietnam War daily death count on the CBS Nightly News. And so, it's safe to say that the soulful ballad sold more than 2 million copies and has continuously been sampled by artists like Drake and Hotline Bling and the decades since it first hit the radio waves and the charts. In order to keep the spirit of the song alive, Thomas recorded several other singles, but didn't find much success. Although Timmy Thomas made us ask, why can't we live together? When it comes to the funky side of one-hit wonders, only one band truly made us get up and dance. At number 2, it's Play That Funky Music.
You see everything's still the same.
Well, the truth is, the success of Wild Cherry with the disco rock crossover song Play That Funky Music is a perfect example of what can happen when you refuse to give up on a dream, because the original iteration of the band broke up at a time having been discouraged by a string of unsuccessful releases. Not long after, they reunited with a slightly different lineup. Then, years later, the group made it big with Play That Funky Music, which went platinum and earned it accolades like the Best Pop Group of the Year. Finally, we move on to our number 1, a song that taught us how to focus and have a little bit of fun with magic. Dutch band Focus took the world by storm with their high-energy instrumental, Hocus Pocus. This song was unlike anything else at the time, blending heavy guitar riffs with bursts of yodeling, flute solos, and lightning-fast drumming. This song was wild, it was loud, it was highly experimental, and yet somehow, at the end of the day, it all worked. Like magic. The single broke into the top 10 on both sides of the Atlantic and gave Focus their first taste of international fame. Unfortunately, they couldn't follow it up with another mainstream hit, leaving Hocus Pocus as their defining moment. Which overlooked song by a one-hit wonder do you think deserved to be a hit? Let us know in the comments section down below. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more exciting content.